It is your official host, Lamar Robinson, and welcome back to another brand new episode of Live with Lamar. It's been a little minute, I know. I feel like it's been like a whole month, but it's actually only been a week. I wasn't here last week because I had just got back from Tampa, and so I had a little bit of a jet lag. But we're back. I got a very exciting show with a very special guest today. My boy, I guess the man that signed my paycheck, Mr. Malachi Fuller, will be joining me today to interview. I'm going to interview him. We're going to talk all about because I guess I work here too, our creative agency, Hyyer Creative, and you're going to learn a little bit about what he does and what even got him to this starting point. I definitely appreciate everybody for tapping in and joining because it's going to be a great show. I definitely appreciate all the support, so make sure you guys are subscribing to my YouTube channel. Almost at 100 subscribers. I'm actually sitting at 80 subscribers, so if you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and do that. This episode will be uploaded there shortly, and every episode as well for the season is streaming live on YouTube. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm actually going to go ahead and invite Malachi to join because I know he got a busy schedule and I don't want to keep him long. So let's get the man himself in the busy. Appreciate everybody for joining in. Hey, Tarika. Hey, Rachel. What's up? And if his Wi-Fi tripping because he said somebody's Wi-Fi bugging, thank you for joining because I damn sure couldn't find the button. So I appreciate you, Brody. Boom, 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 boom. La 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 la. Hello,
Yo.
sir.
Yo, what up? Can you hear me?
I just seen you.
I know, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, bet. Yeah,
You look good. The light looks good. Everything is set. There's no lagging.
All right, bet. So you help me set that up. We good.
You see his skin? I know his skin is glowing. I'm trying to get like him. I need to learn. Teach us what's your skin routine? What's your skincare routine?
Water.
Why didn't you gonna say that? Niggas always want to say water. What's the routine?
Only thing I drink is water, bro.
Wow, that's a lot.
And I cut out the alcohol.
That may be a little bit of a struggle for me to cutting out the alcohol part, but the water I'm trying to.
Hey, I
got my water down.
Bro,
so
one water bottle.
Listen, I'm trying to because I have a hard time actually drinking water. So one of the things I'm trying to do is intake more water. So instead of having liquor with me today, I actually do have water. So that's that. But thank you, bro, for joining. Thank you for tapping in. As you know, obviously I work with you, and so I've had an opportunity to learn a little bit about you and learn a lot about you. And so I want to give our viewers and some of your friends and people that you work with that may not know who Malachi Fuller is, get them a chance to actually know who you are. So for those that have joined and that don't know you, please tell them a little bit about yourself.
For sure, bro. Definitely appreciate you having me on the show. I'm proud of you, definitely, everything that you got going on. So, yeah, but my name is Malachi Fuller. A little bit about myself. I own a creative agency called Hyyer Creative Consulting, based out of LA, originally from Maryland. And yeah, I've been in LA about 6 years now. Our agency, we specialize in branding, marketing, and management for creative entrepreneurs, businesses, and brands, rooted in like Black and millennial Black culture. So yeah, that's a little bit about what I do. And then yeah,
So you mentioned DMV, and I think probably one of the coolest facts or most random facts I found about you that I don't know if a lot of your friends know about you is that you actually grew up in the church. Like you have a very strong church family. And you're very big into your faith. Tell us a little bit about life growing up in the DMV as well as growing up in church.
Man, I don't know if the two go together, but the DMV is lit, bro. The DMV is lit. If you ain't been there, I know you haven't been there. You definitely gotta go. But anybody that's watching, if you ain't been there, you definitely gotta go. Just that culture that you get out there, the Black culture especially, it's like none other. I've been in LA, but it's nothing like being home, being in the DMV, being in DC. Getting that culture. But yeah, even outside of that, I grew up in church. My dad's a pastor. A lot of people don't know that, but I mean, for the people that do, and yeah, I mean, it was definitely an experience. It was a different experience growing up. I couldn't do all the regular stuff that a lot of people could do, publicly anyways. I had a private life, whatever. But yeah, it was an interesting experience. I'll say it helped me stay grounded.
Yeah.
It helped kind of guide me in my trajectory. And so for that reason, I'm grateful. I love my experiences growing up. So
How did you find, like, I think a lot of people, a lot of kids, I guess you call them preachers' kids and church kids, have a hard time really figuring out who they are and as well as being themselves while still, being respectful to the church, being key on your faith. What do you think was one of the biggest things that you, I guess, taught yourself or learned about yourself to where, like, I can still be Malachi, but still praise God and put God on the pedestal in the same realm?
um, I mean, I think it's twofold, right? So when you grow up as a pastor's kid, like you grow up like heavily influenced by church, heavily influenced by people. It's a lot of pressure. People expect this much of you. You've been taught the word from a baby, whatever. So people, especially adults, expect a lot of you. And I think the main thing for me was relinquishing all expectation of what my faith was supposed to look like and defining that for myself, based off of principle and scripture and all that stuff.
Right.
So really defining who I wanted to be as a person, not based off of, what the church or what my parents have to, say. And I figured that out kind of like early on as an adult. And then growing from there, growing from that aspect, defining myself as my own man, and what my principles are, what my morals are, how I align with the scripture, what my purpose is, my calling. So,
Right. Did you and your dad
because
ever butt
my
heads?
people's definitely thought like I was gonna be a pastor, and I kept telling from an early age, I'm like, yo, that's not my calling. Like I feel it, I feel where you're going. Like I'm definitely want to be a leader in that space, but like the pastoral route is not my calling, and I knew that from an early age. But
Yeah.
I think certain principles within being that leader, being that spiritual leader, I think there are certain principles that I picked up and kind of
Yeah.
figured out how to grow from and engage people with. So
Did you and your pops ever butt heads on you not following his path and going ahead into the church?
now I wouldn't say we butted heads. Um, I mean, my pops has a non-spiritual background, so his life is a complete 180 from
Okay.
where he was to where he is now. So I think um, he definitely wanted me to. I mean, he definitely still throws hints like, "Yo, you should go to seminary school." Blah blah blah. Like this school right here, they said they'll put you in there for free because of me, and I'm
Right.
just like, that's not my calling, that's not my purpose. I'm walking in my faith and my purpose in my own path. And I mean, sometimes your parents might not agree. People in the church might not agree. That's not up to them. It's between you and God to figure that out. So I, I I'm in alignment with where I'm supposed to be, and so that's good enough for me.
I
Regardless of
respect it.
who says what, how anyone else feels. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. No, that's important. I mean, you said here right on here, you have to figure out your purpose and your path. Well, what I want to know is, how was Malachi as like a kid, like high school period, college? Were you a bad kid? Were you a good kid? Were you just sneaky and mischievous, and people just ain't catch you? Like, what were you like? When I first met you, and even just being around you, you grew up a very shy, cool, antisocial type person. But when people actually know you, they know that ain't you at all. So how were you growing up,
yeah.
like your personality?
I was exactly how I am now, honestly, bro. Like I was always chill. At one point, I was shy. Um, I kind of grew out of that. Well, I definitely grew out of that. But like at the end of the day, like I always kept my chill demeanor. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm very chill, very laid back. Everything's cool with me. But at the same time, like growing up, that was my demeanor. That was just who I was. I was always quiet. I'm definitely an observer. But I think as I grew up, like I stayed an observer, but like I learned those leadership skills at the same time. So it's like it kind of balanced out. So it's like qualities from my dad. My dad's a public speaker. You know what I'm saying? So like at the end of the day, I didn't have that gift growing up. Like I hated public speaking. I hated getting in front of the church. I hated getting in front of people in general. It just wasn't my thing. But yeah, I mean, it's something I grew into. Like just figuring out how to like take on leadership roles and do certain things. So.
I
Uh,
respect it. That's dope. That's really cool. And I know that you didn't, always. So we're here now. You own a whole consulting agency, and you do a lot of creative content. But before we even get to that, we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. What did you go to school for? Like, what were your like first aspirations and things? Did you always want to become a CEO of a creative agency, or did you think about doing other things?
So I went to school for criminal justice. It was
Wow.
it's really crazy when every time I think about it. But yeah, at one point in time, like I wanted to be a forensic detective. I was watching too much CSI, too much,
I see.
you know, too much Criminal Minds. I thought like that's the space I wanted to be in. But I was also in DC. DC is like a government capital. It's what you see all the time. So I knew I wanted to be in the government, but on the agency side. So like doing that, it was kind of like uh, it's just that's what I thought I wanted to do up until like midway through college, and I just had like a bunch of bad experiences with cops and like different things. I was just like, you know what, that kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. But at the same time, like I had a clothing line in college, so that kind of helped. That kind of helped to build my entrepreneurial mindset because I mean, my dad, he was always an entrepreneur. Like he was a pastor, but he was also an entrepreneur. Like he was a hustler. So it was just like growing up in that space, like that was my mindset. Like, what's the hustle, and what am I passionate about, and how can I make money from that? You know, so started out criminal justice major, but my goal was always like, all right, figuring out, you know, how do I want to leave an impact on the culture, and other people. So I started a clothing line. It was called the Hyyer Life, and yeah, that was the path I thought I was going to take.
Wow. So
And
you
then,
mentioned you
and
had you
now go
mentioned
ahead.
that you had some bad experiences with cops before, and that kind of turned you off from like, well, I mean, you know, nowadays, especially with the culture, we deal with a lot of different experiences when it comes to police and cops. Do you don't mind sharing, like, what were some of those experiences that you experienced yourself in DMV with dealing with the police officers and cops?
Man, I've had so many run-ins, and it wasn't even like a lot of stuff wasn't my fault, but a lot of some stuff was is just being careless. But even like when I was 13, I never forget my first encounter was I was in a store, um, and I had on a baggy coat, and my mom was in the whip in the car, and and so she sent me in the store with some bread, told me to go look for some stuff. I ain't seen nothing I liked. Cop walked up to me and he was like, "You gotta leave before I arrest you." I'm like, "What I do?" He's like, "Leave before I arrest you, and when you leave, you better leave everything you took." So I'm like, "All right." I'm like, "Yo, this is crazy." I'm like 13, so I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So, anyways, like my sister in the
I
comments,
see.
Brenda went off. Anyways, I went outside. I told my mom. She was like, "Oh, nah," like she kirked. Like I never seen my mom kirk that way. She went back in the store. She made me go with her. She was like, "Show me the tapes." She was like, "Show me the tapes where you thought he was stealing." So she made the managers, the cops, all go to the back. She put on this whole like show, like, "Yo, show me the tapes right now. If you say he was stealing, I gave him all this money. Show me the tapes." They couldn't show the tapes. They was like, "Well, we don't have any tapes recorded." So then she went off on them, went off on a cop. But that was like my first experience, just dealing with that. Then I had a bunch of stuff when I was like 18, 19, 20. Just kind of left bad taste in my mouth. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's nothing against that space. It was just something that I couldn't see myself pursuing anymore.
Right. And it led you to, like you said, your creative company. I mean, when you wanted to do a clothing line, and you spelled was Hyyer, the Hyyer Life spelled the Hyyer as well.
Yeah,
So what
yeah,
made you even come up with spelling Hyyer that way instead of just the regular Hire?
yeah. Kid Cudi song, Hyyer. That's what it was in high school. Like, that was my favorite song in high school. That's how it was spelled with the three R's. And then one day I was in college and I had some old sketches. Like I used to draw. I had some old sketches that I found from when I was in high school of how it's spelled now. And like I was sitting there. I'm not gonna lie, I was high. I was sitting there high, and I came up with this acronym, and it stood for Have Your Years Earn Revenue. And like when I felt that, like I just felt it, and I was like, "Yo, this is genius! Like this is what my life embodies. You know, have your years earn revenue, and not even in the sense of like monetarily, but just like
Right.
all around, like, you know, whatever revenue is, however you define it, to you, whether that's income, through wisdom, health, your mindset, financially, whatever, so that for me was a life motto. And that kind of sparked the idea to create the clothing line. And then it just blossomed into what it did. So.
And that led you to coming out to LA, and which is clothing line that you were, a big city, a lot of people out here, and you were ready to push this clothing line. But that's not what you ended up. You ended up in a whole other space. So let us know a little bit about that.
Yeah, so so when I graduated from college, it was like 2015, and I graduated, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I knew that the DC space was so like, to get a job, you needed 2 years of experience for an entry-level job, or you needed an internship beforehand. All the internships was free, and I wasn't about to be in DC working a free internship, whatever. So I took a couple visits to LA. I took one visit to LA, and this is when I had the clothing line. And like during that visit, like I just saw the opportunity of how to it was just like hit after hit after hit, and I just saw like, I could come out here and really finesse. Like I come out here and really like be on some next level stuff. Like I'm putting the work. I see the opening, so I'm like, all right, cool. So that's what I did. I came out here for a month. I was just like, I didn't have any plan, but I came out here for a month. Me and my boy Javon, we came out here, and it was just kind of like, all right, let's see what we can make shape. And so I came out here for a month. That was October 2015, after I graduated. And then I came back home for a month. And when I came back home, I was like, I just told my people, I'm like, yeah, I'm about to move to LA. So then I moved to LA the next month. And I've been out here almost 6 years since. So.
And nobody has the perfect LA. I mean, I didn't learn. LA, coming out to LA is definitely a challenge, and everybody has their own challenge. In summary, how would you describe your LA journey? Like when you got here, like what was your like storyline of like how like dealing with this big ass city that is completely different than the DMV?
I was on the couch of a dude I know for 3 years in Watts. So
wow,
put it like that. Like and that's my brother now. Like, but just through a gang of connections, like it was hit after hit after hit. Like people really connected me to, and like I said, I saw the finesse from jump. I saw the opportunity to create value in other people's spaces that wasn't being presented. So from there, like, working with my boy Brian Henry, like from jump, I started as his intern just because like I saw the vision for window of opportunity. And then being in proximity, starting working at Revolt TV, like I just being in close proximity and starting in finance. Like that was the start of my business side journey. You know what I'm saying? Like I was working in finance, and from a dude that had a criminal justice background and a clothing line, and then working in finance. If you tie everything together, it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm everywhere, but it all served its purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like it all got me to where I'm at right now. So.
Wow, like that is crazy. And like you said, now you have your own creative company. I mean, like you're a CEO of a whole company. Like you literally run an entire business. And I have the opportunity to see that every day. I've learned a lot just from being here since I moved here in January.
Yeah, I saw you talk about like a little bit, but a lot of people don't know. I mean, a lot of people didn't really hear about your side. You know what I'm saying? Like even how you got up and drove out here, you know what I'm saying? And and even that conversation we had, I was like, bro, like, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it. Like you gotta take that leap of faith, because people do it. I feel like I'm talking like J. Cole. People do it, but they don't really do it. How you gonna do it? So at the end of the day, I was like, yo, bro, like if you're gonna do it, like do it. Like it's no point in talking about it. People talk about, I'm about to take this leap. Like it's cool, but like until you actually start progressing, like plans mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyways, letting people know you work with Hyyer. So
Yeah, nah, I definitely appreciate that. Like, y'all see how he flipped the script on me? Nah, I like, I met Mal a year ago, literally about a year ago, like probably the last month of this month, um, through my mentor. And he was on a call and it was about, media hosts and things of that nature. And Mal was on it. I was like, this dude look pretty cool. Let me hit him up. Let me see whatever. And I got some advice from him. And we've been tight since then. And then when he found that I finally did what he said and jumped off and took that leap. It gave me an opportunity. I joined the team and started off working as his assistant and still doing some of his work for him as well. But he's helped put me in some dope ass spaces to where like I've had opportunities to learn, meet different people, build my network, and bring more money in my pocket. So that's
You know what I'm
always
saying? We
more
out here,
money.
we looking for, we trying to get all the coins 2021. We ain't playing.
Listen, I'm trying to get all the money. We finna go up. We only going higher. That's the biggest thing. So, see that
Exactly.
man got an assistant. Yeah, bro.
But
It's another.
even outside of that, bro, like I know I flipped the script to you, but it's your show, so your fans gonna watch. Even outside of that, like the thing I commend the most is like I gave you an ultimatum, and you didn't have to take it. Like you had but the thing is you had a job lined up. You know what I'm saying?
I
It
did.
wasn't a job that was directly in your career path. It was definitely for more money than what I'm paying you. I could say that out loud,
Yeah.
but I knew that what I offered would give you the resources to help you further navigate your career. So at the end of the day, it's like, but you gonna take that leap or not? So, and I commend you for taking that leap. A lot of people don't see that vision. A lot of people don't make those transitions. They'll be like, oh yeah, I need stability, which is cool. I respect that, but like I feel like when we're going to higher heights, you got to be able to take that leap. So I
I
commend you
definitely
on
agree. I agree with that. Like you said with Brian, like it's about seeing the end goal and seeing the vision. Like I don't think I tell my friends every day, and they go, "Oh, how's LA? Like you love?" I'm like, "Bro, I love it. Like I can't complain. Like everything is dope. The vibes is good. I work for a black company. First off, let's get that. I work for a black company where we have like some dope. You know what I mean? It's a
that.
very dope ass vibe. The office space is dope. Like you can't be mad. So like I definitely appreciate you and and Karima for getting me out here and allowing me to prosper. And now I'm able to sit here and interview you about our company and the great things that you're doing. So definitely want to tap into Hyyer a little bit. So now you got Hyyer Creative. What was that starting process like to even start your own company? You have a whole LLC where you have all these clients that are trusting you. Was it difficult to start a business like you have?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so like even the clothing line, like I started early on. Like even the clothing line, like I had the LLC since I was 19, and so at first it was the Higher Life, and just to kind of define the transition because some people don't fully understand it. Sometimes they
Mm-hmm.
always ask me, like, why did you do the clothing line? For me, like the clothing side was cool, but it wasn't fully what I was passionate about. Like I can dress well, cool, yeah. I know what looks good. I know what fashion is, but that wasn't really my space. I knew my space was. I knew I fell in love with the process. I fell in love with like when I was building everything from the ground up, brick and mortar. I knew like I fell in love with like creating the websites and creating the campaigns and doing the branding, shooting the photos, creative directing. You know what I'm saying? So like that whole process. And then once I'm a full picture guy. So once I saw that full picture, I was like, you know what? This is what I love. This is what I enjoy. The clothing side is cool, but if I can do this for other people, and if I can create this value and this sense of purpose for other people, that's what makes me feel the best. You know what I'm saying? Like creating
Absolutely.
these clothes and seeing people wear them is cool, but that's not my goal. That's not what I long for. What I long for is to um, help people define their purpose, find their purpose, and create and help people with that. But also, secondly, um, my goal is also to create culture in the highest sense and the most the most impactful sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I look and see. I think back to being a kid and seeing what we grew up on, you know what I'm saying, that impacted us, what we watched, what we saw, the people in our lives and what they reacted to and what was on TV and what we were listening to and all that stuff, what books we were reading.
Mm-hmm.
who is in position to be our role models. You know what I'm saying? And I look at that and I'm like, I want to help shift and create that narrative for the next generation. So that's what I mean. Like I want to help. I want to create the content that I saw when I was a kid for the next generation. That's my goal. And so between creating purpose and value for other people and creating content and impact in the sense of culture, I think that's my God-given talents. So, but yeah, outside of that, back to your question.
You did.
Hyyer Creative. Yeah, I mean we do branding, marketing, content creation. We work with a gang of clients. Very blessed for that. All of those clients started to stem from early seeds that I planted. You know what I'm saying? Like I planted a seed with my boy Brian Henry. Started as an intern. Like I said, he'll tell you from the jump. I always told him like, bro, like, I always hit him like early on. I was like, bro, what I'm doing is great, but are you ready to go to the next level? Because I feel like I feel like I can do so much more for you at this point. You know what I'm saying? But I took that seed and I ran with it. I saw the opportunity to create value for him, but I also saw the opportunity to be in rooms where I could start building my own network. You know what I'm saying? I started in finance at Revolt, and people were like, yo, you got a criminal justice degree. Yeah, but one, I'm trying to get into business. So like I'm trying to learn how these numbers work on the back end. And two, I see the value in being around, a media company. Because if I'm gonna create my own stuff, I gotta, figure that out. So that's where the client life started. And when I left Revolt, that's how I pivoted. So
I love that. A job opening. Check out our job. Oh, y'all got a job opening? Okay, cool. I didn't even know we had a job opening. I guess I went there.
Yeah, we looking for what we looking for? A video editor, assistant video editor, some more camera people. Like we got a gang of stuff. So I mean, if you're creative, come holler at us.
I love that. Nice little plug. But and Brian, by the way, I'm trying to get you on the show next too. We got a lot to talk about with you as well. So
yeah, shout out to Brian. You definitely got to get him on here.
Oh, Brian's coming on next. He don't know it yet. I already planned it, but it's coming. I'm gonna be tapping in with you, bro, to let you know. So with you, man, I like to say, like, I do believe that you mean what you say. You're straightforward. You don't sugarcoat shit. But one thing I like about working with you and working for you and under you, and you're probably like the dopest boss, you know what I mean? Like you're very understanding. You know what I mean? You don't treat your client. You try to be right. You try to be. You don't treat your staff like in bad. Like it's always good energy. What did you say is probably just Brian is solid? What do you think is probably the biggest struggle, I guess, or not the biggest struggle, but like the day-to-day life of a CEO? Like what's something that's like you have to make sure that you stay on top of with running the entire corporation, keeping your clients happy, keeping your staff happy, and keeping yourself happy?
Biggest challenge. One of the biggest.
I know the answer, but you can answer.
You said you know the answer?
I work with you, my nigga. I know.
All right, okay. All right, hold your answer, but keep it. One of the biggest responsibilities is that I've seen is or that I felt anyways is when you win, it's a team thing, which I love. But when something doesn't go right, everybody it all falls on you. Like it all falls on you from a client perspective. Like they're coming at your neck. So like you lay for an edit, it's on my neck. Like I'm getting all the pressure. So it's a lot of pressure points that come in directly through me. Secondly, I feel like just being in a client-facing business, it's just a lot of responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Like it's deadlines is like we work heavy on deadlines. We got like 5-6 deadlines to hit a day. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times stuff happens. You know what I'm saying? And we might not hit it, but deadlines are get hectic. They get crazy, and people don't fully understand what goes into the creative process. So like a lot of times things are unrealistic. So having to meet expectations with a sense of realisticness. You're not going to get this edit in 2 days. It's just not realistic. You know what I'm saying? Especially for what you're paying. It's just not going to happen. So, this I would say that's definitely one of the harder things. I'm trying to think what else.
Have you ever worked with a tough client?
Oh yeah, all the time. Probably working with a few right now. They might be watching.
I know.
Yeah. But yeah, that's no shades or shots. But yeah, anyways, I was about to say something else. I forgot. Long hours too. I think I'm a workaholic. I mean, I think that's what you're gonna say. I enjoy what I do, but I also think I just enjoy working. I think I enjoy the feeling of working, and I think I get that from my pops for real. Like he was always working, so it's just certain things I picked up. But I think that's just in my nature. I think my whole family, my uncles, they all hustlers. So at the end of the day, like I'll come into the office at 10, and I'm ashamed to say it, I leave at like 10. Sometimes I leave at 2 and 2 a.m. Like it's just that's my life. You know what I'm saying? I don't even have food in my fridge because I don't go home that much except for sleep. So I don't know, but I'll definitely say that's one of the harder things. Something I'm definitely working on as well. Creating boundaries for myself, and learning to enjoy life outside of work.
Me, Rachel, and Kareem are gonna kidnap you, drop you in the middle of an island somewhere with no phone, no laptop, no nothing. You ain't got no choice but to relax at that point.
I'm gonna have anxiety.
You'll be all right. You'll get listen. At least you can find your pet monkey. People don't know this man want a pet monkey. I ain't finna find him a pet monkey. I don't know where you get that at.
I do want a monkey.
So we're gonna drop you off in the island and get you a monkey. You and that monkey become best friends. You and the little Curious George.
Well, hey, we'll see what happens.
You'll be straight. So what would you say is possibly the end goal for you? So you're doing a lot, and like I said, we're growing, we're expanding, we're doing a lot of stuff that
Ryan, pull up.
Don't even know that we're doing, and we're high creative. What would you say is probably the end goal for you next?
The end goal.
Maybe it's just like internal.
I was about to say I don't have a end goal. So, one of my favorite quotes, and I can't even fully remember, but it's something along the lines of it's by John Maxwell, but something along the lines of like the person who is I don't know, it's something about along the line. I don't even want to misquote it, but it's like it talks about not forgetting that life is about the end goal. Don't be a slave to the immediate. You know what I'm saying? So my end goal is built up of small goals that I'm building around, but I don't know what it's shaping. So I really don't have an end goal. I have a direction, and I trust God for the rest. You know what I'm saying? Like my direction is lateral. Like as long as I'm going up, as long as I'm bettering myself, as long as I'm bettering the people around me, as long as like I can see forward progress, and not a lot of times I don't see it, but like you feel it. And as long as sometimes you do go back, but I trust God for that. So at the end of the day, like I know the space and the lane I want to be in, but I don't need to know what the final steps are. So I don't really have an end goal. I just I live on a daily basis, and I try to just live day to day with growth. So.
What advice would you give to other entrepreneurs? There's a lot of people I know that are tapping in right now that are their own CEO, that have their own businesses, that are doing great things, that their own freelancer, like a bunch of different things. Even myself, what advice would you give people like us from the things that you've learned, or even things that your mentors have taught you about owning a business, being an entrepreneur? If you can offer one piece of advice, what would that be?
Man, I'll say one quote is my favorite quote that my boy Al, I guess he put me on to. It's just been my life mantra ever since, is control the controllable at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like you control your destiny, and whatever is out. If you can't, if it's a quote, it's a saying that says like, can I change the outcome of this? If the answer is yes, then change it. If you can't, then you shouldn't be worrying either way. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like I just control what I can control at the end of the day. And I leave the rest up to God and to do what to have control over what's meant to be. And so I think advice that I would give to like up and coming CEOs, man, like you gotta respect the grind. Like I know there's a lot of people that want it, but they don't want it bad enough. And that's just how I personally feel. So it's like at the end of the day, like if you're not gonna go for it, if you're not gonna put in the work for it, if you're not gonna hustle for it, like do you really want it bad enough? You know what I'm saying? So it's like I challenge people on that. You know what I'm saying? Like do you want it more than the things you're not compromising? You know what I'm saying? You putting all those hours into TV, to going out, all that stuff. Nothing's wrong with that. It's definitely life balance, but how bad do you want it? And then too, at the end of the day, I also say on the flip side, you gotta be gracious with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's built overnight. And if it is, it's the foundation is usually not as firm. So you gotta be gracious with yourself. You gotta be willing to make mistakes. You gotta fail forward. You know what I'm saying? Because I failed a lot. I definitely lost a lot of clients. I've learned a lot. Everything I've done, I've learned through trial and error. You know what I'm saying? Like I have yet to have a real mentor in the creative content space. I've definitely had people I look up to. I've definitely had people that have guided me and given me wisdom. But I've yet to have a real mentor in this space. Everything I do right now is through trial and error. Oh, this didn't work with this client. Dang, I bid too high for this. Dang, but control the controllable. So yeah.
Nah, that's facts. And even just what have I would consider you one of my mentors, just like I would consider Damage one of my mentors. Like y'all have taught me so much
Hey,
shit,
shout
bro.
out to Damage.
Yeah, like Damage is that's my dog. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like I've learned so much just from being around y'all. Like literally since I got out here, literally it's been such an easy process. Man, I think my process in LA, not saying it has been like easy, but I think it's been a lot easier just because I've had you guys been able to give me so much like wisdom and just how the industry works, how you communicate with certain people, certain clients, certain emails. Like I've just been learning, so I'm definitely grateful that you guys can keep bumping your head so I can keep learning. You know what I mean? So I get free games. So appreciate you for that, for real.
Hey,
Anybody
no
in the comments for sure? We're getting ready to wrap up soon. If there's a question you want to ask Mal, go ahead and type it as well, and I'll be sure to ask someone live. My last advice, or not advice, question for you, Mal, is what's next for Hyyer? What can people be on the lookout for?
Man, what's next for Hyyer? I think that goes.
What exclusive can you share that they don't know that I know?
What do I want to share is the question.
This man got a lot of shit up his sleeve. I'm gonna tell y'all that.
Yeah, I'm working on a lot. I'm just trying to expand. Honestly, I'm trying to really expand on what an empire looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like, and really build a brand. I think now we've built a name. I think it's something I can stand behind, something I can guarantee. But now we're trying to, build a brand and expand on that, and figuring out, what that looks like. And so I'll just leave it at that. What's next? And now outside's opening back up, so it's who knows. We're gonna.
I'm about to be outside. Y'all already know I like to be outside.
As you should be. As you should be. You new to LA, so we about to give you the real tour.
I'm finna be outside. Me and Karima together when she wanna be my friend. We outside.
Exactly, bro.
So man, that is amazing. Let the
people
know
that I got a question for you. What's one thing you've learned since you've been in LA?
To read the signs. Before you park your car. Before you park your car, please read the signs.
All 6 of them.
All 6 of them, because they all gonna say different things. I learned that, but on some real stuff. And Bo, I see your question. I'm gonna get to that. The biggest thing that I learned, man, just from being out here is it's really about that grind. It's really about coming out here. Like people always say they want to come to LA, they want to chase their dreams, they want to, do all these things. But until you get out here, like if I never packed up my stuff and left Florida and drove all the way across country to LA, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have the opportunities that I have now. When you're around in certain spaces, when you're willing to learn and willing to listen and be a student of the game, I think it helps take you further than you probably ever imagined. And that's what keeps you in some of the rooms that you probably would never thought you'd be in. There's no way in hell that I probably would have thought I would have known how the people I know. Just hit them up or talk to them. Like, that shit is dope. And so with being in LA is what you make it. You know what I mean? People always stress like, oh, you need $5,000 and you need this, a job and a car and an apartment. You absolutely don't. It's really what you make it. I feel like LA people, kind of stress LA out like it's a bad city, but it really ain't.
For real. No, that's real.
It really ain't. I mean, everybody has different struggle. Of course, sleeping on couches, going through this and that. But, like, it really isn't that bad. Like, I love LA. And my journey out here before and even now has been amazing. And I'm thankful for it. So, you know what I mean? So, that would be my biggest lesson.
That's real. One more question for you. What do you feel like as you're now starting your entrepreneurial journey, as a host, and all that? What do you feel is one of the most important lessons that you've learned of value, that you could share with somebody else that's trying to make that leap, not necessarily to LA, but that leap or that transition into a space where they're passionate about?
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing that I've learned, and that has been value to me, is that network. That network is very important. That network does truly impact your network, and helps you become like this better person, and not to give up on it. You know what I mean? Like you, even like me, I kind of had a similar journey to you, to where I had a whole nother stage name, I had a whole nother brand. You know what I mean? I used to do a whole nother talk show, but I stayed consistent knowing what I wanted to do. Now I may have tweaked it, and you know what I mean, and tried different trial and error to come to a different point. But ultimately, I stayed focused on the one goal. One thing I was thinking about this on the way to work today, that I have been consistent on what I want to do. We know plenty of people that want to do something, and now they're not doing it because they gave up. And you can't give up. You may have to tweak something, but you can't give up on it. Like, you have to stay focused. And like, you went from a clothing line, right. The name has stayed consistent for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's because the end goal stayed consistent. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I built the brand around something that was consistent for me. Have your years earn revenue is a life mantra for me. You know what I'm saying? That's how I live my life. I just want to earn revenue in all senses of that space, whether it's friendships, just
in genuine relationships. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
It's genuine. Like, and one thing I learned from you, not being afraid to not know something, and not being afraid to use your resources. So, like, if you may not be your strong suit. A lot of people be like, well, you can just learn that yourself, or you can go on YouTube for this, da-da-da. But if we have a network of people that are talented at different things, why not help build those people's business? So if you know a friend that has a graphic design business, yes, I can easily go on Canva and create my own stuff, but why not support that friend's business and pay them to do something for me that's going to come out of quality? You know what I mean? I've learned that just from being like your assistant, being around you. I've seen how many different people you work with that do different things for you, and you helping them while they're helping you, because that's one less thing you got to worry about. It allows you to maximize your money because you ain't got to worry about sitting there. You can create your own graphics, but why not pay somebody to do it for you? You know what I mean? Right. Somebody that's within your network.
That's the business model of Hyyer Creative. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, the business model is why you can go so far alone, but you can go so much further together. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, cool. I shoot, you know what I'm saying? I edit, I do graphics. Like, I literally do everything that we're hiring people for. But it's like, I could get this bag myself, or I could get this one bag tonight by myself, or, I could create a conglomerate of people, and now we can secure 10 bags in one night, because it's not just me doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get multiple things a night or a day. You know what I'm saying? So now, like, it's building something bigger than myself and bigger than ourselves. And now you're part of something even bigger than you, because at the end of the day, you might be a photographer, but you work for Hyyer, and another person's a graphic designer, and they also work with Hyyer, and people know that, and now they're asking the graphic designer, hey, you know any photographers? And now you're part of a network, and since you're part of that network, now it's like, all right, cool, I do. Like, our team does this. So now you're part of a whole thing, you know what I'm saying? Like and now you can say, our team, we do graphic design, this, and this, you know what I'm saying? So it just builds everybody's rapport up, builds that.
Yeah, it's a dope thing. It's a
Yeah.
whole dope thing within itself, like you said. Because I witnessed, people hit you up like, yo, Mal, like, somebody that does X, Y, Z. Like, yeah, I know a few people. Let me tap in with some folks. Literally, like, any of y'all, I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all that are tuned in right now, I've heard Mal say, oh, yeah, I know somebody. And he's talked about you and he's plugged you in. Like, and I think that's a beautiful thing. Like, that is dope as fuck to me, just to have that community of people that you can count on to do certain things, and they get a bag, and you probably get a bag too, so it works out.
Exactly, bags all around.
I love it, man. See, I don't like how you kind of interview me, but it's kind of dope. But I don't like it.
Listen,
I don't ever get interviewed on my own show.
Hey, it's a two-way street. It's part of the podcast coming soon.
There's an exclusive. He dropped the exclusive. That's all I needed for this show. Y'all know we always gotta get one exclusive from our guests, and there we go. So, saw my boyfriend to be on somebody's airways. Maybe he'll be next with Joe Budden. That's what I hear.
Nah, I ain't talking to Joe Budden. Put me on Marlon Rory's joint. You can put me on Marlon Rory's podcast, but
there we go. I like it. I love it. Let people know how they can follow you, and obviously we see how Creative was tagged, but letting people know how they can keep up with you and tap in with you as well.
Well, click the button at the top. I said Mal Full. Click that. Follow me. I'm pretty sure most of these people already do. But if you see at the bottom, it says Hyyer Creative as well. So definitely tap in. If you're just curious, tap in. If you got business, you need services, tap in. And even if you got like questions, I'm always down to help, to answer some questions, to mentor some people. And I'm putting this in the air so that I can actually do it. One of my goals for this month, but then this month got hectic, so it's gonna happen. I'm gonna try to say it's gonna happen next month, but I'm putting it in the air right now. One of my goals has always been to help mentor people in the space of creating their own businesses. So I'm starting this thing called Hyyer Education. Play on words. Another thing Lamar been wanting me to talk about. But essentially what it's going to be is just office hours, you know what I'm saying, where people can schedule a time. It's going to be probably an hour slot every day, 2 hour slot every day. Schedule a time and just ask questions about different business things, whether it's, photography, you're a photographer, you're an editor, and just you can book with people on our team, and just talk for an hour. It'll be free. Whether you need business consultation, it's all free stuff. So I just want to, it's my way of kind of giving back and, providing resources to people. Because I feel like, and also I feel like a lot of people don't know what I do. I'm very low key about it. It's a very, if you know type of thing. And so, yeah, so I'm trying to get out that space, be more open and, add more value to people's lives.
I vibe with it. And make sure y'all follow me as well. I definitely appreciate everybody for tapping in with us in this great conversation I had to have with my boy Mal, so at Lamar Robinson TV. And subscribe to me on YouTube. The whole season is up there as well. If you missed Mal's interview at the beginning, it's all going to be uploaded on YouTube probably within the next hour. You can go and catch it. There'll be promo going, so you can go back and rewind this interview as well. So with that,
yes, sir. Hey, make sure y'all support good business. Follow my boy, and subscribe to his channel. If you follow me, follow him. Just out of support, you know what I'm saying. So appreciate you setting this all up, bro. I'm proud of you. Like I said, I'm proud of the growth, the transitions, everything you're doing. And yeah, let's keep it going.
I appreciate that. Hey, appreciate you, Al. I'm trying to get out here. I'm trying to get on my Terrence J vibes. He getting old, so somebody got to replace him. So I'm trying to hop in. You know what I mean? I'm still young and fresh, so I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for everything, and that is that.
That is that.
We out. Everybody have a great weekend. Get your COVID shots. I just got my second one today.
Bro said great weekend. It's Wednesday.
It's okay. I'm tapped out tomorrow. Don't call me.
We got work to do.
Don't call me. I'm on PTO. Hey, Karima, come get this man. I'm out. Hey, my boy. I see you in a little bit.
All right, bro.
Fellow on the